What's up, guys? Okay, so today I'm coming at you from gloomy New York. Well, this is where I live in New York, not right here. And I would just like to say, I hope you appreciate the change in background, even though there's, that lovely scaffolding going on. Because where I am sitting currently at this very moment, it smells like pee. But I'm gonna ignore that and just give you my review for this week. So this weekend was really cool. I got to see a whole bunch of movies. I got to see A Simple Favor, which has been out for a while, so I'm sure you've already heard reviews on it and you've already maybe seen it yourself. I got to see A Star Is Born on Thursday night, which was, we'll get to that. And then the last one I want to talk about was Venom. I've got a few other Netflix reviews coming in the upcoming days, but I just wanted to kind of go over those because that's a lot in and of itself. So we'll start off with what I saw first, which was A Star Is Born on Thursday night. Okay, I was waiting for this group of people to pass by, but you're probably gonna hear some sounds and some talking because we're in the middle of New York, and it's actually pretty calm right now, but might not be. You can probably hear that airplane, but that's okay. You get the real New York feel, and this is quiet actually. Okay, so A Star Is Born. I loved it. I feel like it was hyped up to a ridiculous height that, it's almost like it's impossible for it to be that good. And I will say the things that definitely impressed me the most were the performances of Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I've always been impressed with Bradley Cooper. I mean, I'm sure there are like a few things I've seen him in that I wasn't completely like blown away by, but everything I've seen him in recently I've been super impressed with, apart from like Guardians, because I mean that takes a certain level of skill and all of that too, but you don't see his range that much, I don't think. But looking at him in movies like American Sniper, which was the first of his that I've seen that I was like, wow, that's incredible, to then my favorite, Silver Linings Playbook, and and then seeing him in this, and I think as his directorial debut, I think that was something that was a big feat for him to get this. I don't know that I would say 100% right. I think definitely a beautiful movie and beautifully made, and the shots were incredible, and we were talking about this when after the movie, there's the transitions in it. I don't know why I pay a lot of attention to transitions, because they can either take you out of the movie or make it so that you're so enthralled in that world that they've created that it's so seamless and beautiful and kind of knocks you off your feet. And so I don't know why, I just really pay attention to the transitions, and I loved the transitions in this. I loved their performances. Lady Gaga, I've always kind of known that she, obviously she's like a theatrical person, but in this she's like shows like a whole. I'm also like not the most comfortable recording things outside because I've never done that before. But anyway, she's incredible in this. Of course, she's a theatrical person in general. I mean, if you've seen any of her performances, you would know that. But even apart from that, I think it's interesting because I kind of didn't know if she could do the subtle parts of this role, kind of knowing what the movie was about to an extent, because it's I think the fourth version of it. I kind of was a little bit not questioning, but just wondering if she would be able to do that, and then she pulls it off beautifully and does an incredible job. And then you have Bradley, who just there were so many elements of his performance that are different from anything he's done in the past, because of course I think you can look at other movies that he's done and think he does a similar character, in the sense that they're always troubled but good intentioned, and there's something so pure about like his smile and his eyes, and me and my friend were like couldn't stop smiling throughout most of the movie. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But because he's so charming, and of course he's flawed, and he's very, you know, he has his demons, but he's so beautifully pure, and has this like ridiculously beautiful heart that the whole movie is like, you look at him and you look at him with Gaga, and you're like, wow, they really do have incredible chemistry. The music is incredible. She wrote a lot of the music for it. I think he helped write a few of the songs, and you can tell that, you know, the experiences that the characters are having throughout the movie really tie in with the soundtrack. I've listened to the soundtrack a million times now, especially I'll Always Remember Us This Way and Shallow. They're just, I mean, you've got the Gaga voice, which I like, you know, I'm not like super versed in her music, but I do know a few of her songs, and I love a few of her songs. And I was really pleasantly surprised to see a lot, like, one of my favorite tracks from hers is Marry the Night. I love a lot of her Joanne album, and I was really like pleasantly surprised to see that a lot of that sound, but with a twist in this movie, and the lyrics go so well with everything that the characters are experiencing, and so it's a beautiful thing, for sure. I think my only qualm, and I started mentioning this to my friends, and they were kind of like, no, like no, it was great, and I was like, it was great, it really was great. The only thing that I would say is that I think for me, so much happens in the first 10-15 minutes, and then it kind of feels like there's a little bit of a drag. In the middle of the movie, it's like incredible beginning, a little bit lengthy and long in the middle, and then a whole bunch of stuff happens in the end as well. So you're kind of like, I wouldn't say bored because there's so many things that keep you entertained, but just kind of, I don't know. That was my only qualm with it. Maybe it could have moved faster, maybe it could have, I don't know. And I know that they're trying to establish the relationship, and they're trying to establish, like, I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible. But yeah, I would say that's my only problem. And do I think that either one of them are going to win an Oscar? I think that's hard to tell. I think they'll for sure be nominated. I think Bradley will for sure be nominated. I don't know that Lady Gaga will be nominated, just because I think her role, going back to what I was saying before, I didn't know she could do the subtle parts of it as, you know, as well as maybe, you know, the other female the other female actresses have done in the other iterations of this movie. But she did. She is so subtle in some of the things that she does, and she's so likable. And of course, I mean, I'm not saying she's not likable in real life, but she just does such a good job of being equally as pure in a different way, if that makes sense. Like, going kind of like being a screen partner with Bradley Cooper and holding her own, as far as like you believe that she is genuine and that she has all this love for him, because I mean, that's not really a spoiler. I mean, you've seen the posters and the trailers, and obviously they're in love. But yeah, you kind of, she's super subtle in her performance, but also a powerhouse. I think I've seen that word thrown around a lot in like, you know, the previews and things like that, and she really is. That's like one of the best ways to describe her. And she's so kind. Her character of Ali is so ridiculously kind, and so just like her heart is in the right place, trying to help Jackson Maine, the Bradley's character. So I would say definitely a 9.9 out of 10. Near perfect, but it's his first, it's Bradley Cooper's first time as a director. It's a lot to juggle. I think, you know, it's a 9.9. I would not say a 10, because that would give him no room to grow, and I think we can expect to see so much more from him. And I think giving him a 10 wouldn't be fair to him, you know? So I'm not gonna give him a 10, I'm gonna give him a 9.9. Okay, moving on to the other movies I saw. And this will be quick, I think, because I didn't like them. A Simple Favor, it's been out for a while. I've been hesitant to see it because I think originally it had like a 50 something on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's gone up to like an 80 something, if I'm correct. And not that I didn't love the concept. The concept seemed really cool. The trailer seemed really cool. All the concepts of like, you know, Blake Lively deleted her Instagram and then only followed Emily, whatever. Like, it was an interesting thing. I wasn't exactly sure, is this supposed to be horror? Is this supposed to be whatever? And I will commend them on kind of having their own weird little subgenre. But that wasn't enough to carry the movie, in my opinion. It was like this weird thing. It was really funny. I went to see it with my sister. My sister was in town, and she was like, I made like 4 comments through the movie, and like literally, because I know she gets annoyed when I talk. And if you know me, if you've ever been to the movies with me, if you've ever watched a movie with me at home, you know that I talk a lot during the movies, just because, one, the thing is, like, whether it's a good or a bad movie, I usually have something to say, just because, like, if I don't say anything, then you know I'm like, it's probably a really, 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 really good movie if I don't say anything, or if I say very, very little. But if I'm talking a lot, you know that I am not entertained. And this was one of those movies I had so many comments to make because I was noticing a million different things that were not the actual movie. And Anna Kendrick, it seems like she's playing herself. I mean, as far as like what we see of her persona, her public persona, it kind of seems like she's playing herself. Blake Lively is mysterious and like cool and like suave, and that's also very much her, or at least what we see of her, with her like gorgeous blonde hair and like super cool outfits and all that stuff. Of course, I'm sure she doesn't go around like doing like any of the stuff that she does in the movie, but I don't know, it was just it had the potential to be so much better. I wanted it to be so much better. I was rooting for it. I was like, it's a, you know, female-led movie. It's I think they produced it as well. They like got together and produced it as well. It features some great people like Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively, and then Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians. And it just fell short to me. Nothing about it was incredible. Nothing about it was like cool or anything. Yeah. Okay, and then the last one I wanted to talk about was Venom. Now, my sister told me, I told her I was going to do a review of both of those. I was going to do A Simple Favor and Venom. Oh, anyway, going back to one more thing about The Simple Favor, it was really funny because my sister was like, you talk the entire time, and I was like, girl, I made 4 comments, like, you don't even know, that's nothing. That's like me holding it in because that movie was awful. The soundtrack, the music in it was pretty dope, and I did like it, and I was like dancing along, but nothing about it was stood out, nothing about it was like cool. Even like the effects of some of it was just like subpar. Someone just stared at me as I was filming. Anyway, Venom. Anyway, so she said it wasn't fair for me to do a review on Venom because we only like watched like half an hour of it, if that. But I think that says a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'll have a lot more reviews coming up in the next few days because I really, really want to talk about my new favorite Netflix show, Maniac, and I also wanted to talk a little bit more about just a few other things I've watched lately and update you guys. But yeah, definitely go see A Star Is Born. Save your money on Venom unless you like enjoy movies that are awful and that look like they were made in the early 2000s, and you enjoy Tom Hardy. I don't know, the thing is, like, I like Tom Hardy just as much as the next girl, but he doesn't, I don't know, even Michelle Williams to me was like stiff in this, and I love her. Like I love her. She Manchester by the Sea, like she's in it for such a short amount of time, but she's so good in it. Greatest Showman, you know, like she's awesome, but this movie just doesn't hold enough, like it doesn't carry enough weight at all. And it was funny, a little bit of it, like from what I saw, it was kind of funny. That's it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. Like I said, I only stayed for about half an hour, 45 minutes of it, so maybe it got all of a sudden so much better. But it looks like, and this is no disrespect to my Spider-Man fans, I am one of the biggest Spider-Man fans, but it looks like the first Spider-Man film. That's the quality of film we're talking about. So, I mean, I guess make your own decision. There were a lot of people there to see it, though. I mean, we were like, well, this is interesting. It says it's awful, but, I mean, you know, there's like a lot of reviews out there. Rotten Tomatoes, I think, gave it like a 38 or something. There were a lot of reviews saying that it sucked, but lots and lots of people went to see it. I mean, obviously that's not an indicator of how good it was or any of that sort, but, or anything like that, but yeah, there were a lot of people there to see it, so who knows. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time with some more reviews. Let me know if there's anything at all that you want me to review, and tell you whether or not to save your cash or your time and go with something else instead. So check out A Star Is Born. Okay.